All right, Nick, let's talk. I say this sometimes too much, but this is actually the hottest team in college football right now. The Oklahoma Sooners, just had a statement win coming into the bye week. This team is looking really good, and you gotta make some noise in your bye week. And the Sooners did just that, picking up a big time commitment from a big time player potentially that could really add to this team going forward. I think this is huge for the Sooners. But Nick, let's get right on into it. This is from over at Hayes Fawcett on 3 Sports. He gave us the article. It says 3-star offensive tackle Daniel Akikunemi. I believe that's how you say it. Probably wrong there. But of the London NFL Academy, announced his commitment to Oklahoma Thursday morning. The 6'5", 300-pounder chose the Sooners over Clemson and Baylor. The England offensive tackle joins coach Brent Venables in the Sooners' top 10 class in 2024 team rankings. He's accompanied by 5-star D lineman David Stone, 4-star running back Taylor Tatum, among others. Nick, I think this is big time building through the trenches. They already have 2 or 3 really big time D line commits. They need to start beefing up the O line. I think this guy is great. I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are on this guy. But Sooners fans, you're going into the bye week, gonna rest up after a big win. Then you have Central Florida, a game you can't come out flat against, but you got the bye week to prepare. So let us know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on the score of Oklahoma versus Central Florida in the comments section below. But Nick, what do you think about this commitment to Oklahoma?
So there's a lot to unpack here, right? And I think first thing to understand, anytime you're recruiting offensive linemen, and this has always been my opinion, the rating in terms of 3-star, 4-star, 5-star can be really skewed. It's really hard to evaluate how good an offensive lineman is at the high school level and how it will translate to the collegiate level. Because to be honest, a lot of these guys, if they're massive like this guy is, they're 6'4", 6'5", 300 pounds, you put them up on 99 out of 100 high school games, they're going to dominate, right? Just because they're 100 pounds bigger than everybody else. Obviously, when they get to college, that's not going to be the case. So I'm not really too worried about the ranking here. We've seen a lot of 5-star offensive linemen. Heck, I competed against a lot of 4 or 5-star linemen in high school. They went on to the next level. They stunk. I competed against a lot of guys that were 1 and 2 stars. They went on to have great college careers. It's really hard to figure out in terms of evaluating and effectively rating offensive line in high school. So I wouldn't worry so much about the 3-star rating. The guy has all the physical tools. He's a great athlete. But the fact that he's from international, he's from the London NFL Academy, I think it's a really smart move to target this guy by Venables and company. And here's why. The NFL has been focusing for the better part of the last decade on expanding the global footprint of football, and they've done a pretty good job of it. One of the things that will come from this is there will be, right, this is back up 10 years ago when it started, we're starting to see an influx of elite talent come from the European countries, coming from the African countries, things like that. We're starting to see a lot of these guys jump out and play and get better at the game a lot faster than they were in years past. There used to be some guys come from Africa, come from Europe, but they still didn't know the finer points of football. Now guys are growing up playing football overseas, and we're starting to see them come into being mature adults, coming to be these big time prospects. Now is the time to get on early. This is sort of an untapped mine of talent right now in terms of other areas. Look, recruiting out of Texas, everyone knows there's great football. Recruiting out of Oklahoma, recruiting out of California, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, whatever, everyone knows there's great football. If you're going overseas, if you're going to Europe, if you're going to the NFL Academy, how many people really know how good that football is? How many people know how good the competition is and know how to grade and evaluate players? Nobody does, right? It's sort of an untapped market. And credit to Oklahoma and Venables and company and recognizing that and getting in early and attacking these kind of recruits and getting them to commit. Because once you start learning about this market and get better and evaluating at it, that'll give you a leg up over all the other competition. And when it comes to being in the international space in the recruiting game, you want to be the first mover in this case. And Oklahoma certainly is doing just that.
Yeah, Nick. And this guy, he has been impressed with Oklahoma since day one. That's the game he went to, the Arkansas State game, where they come out guns blazing, beat them 73-0. First game of the season, everyone remembers that. But this guy came out and he quoted saying, "The Arkansas State game really showed me how much this team has improved and how bad they want it. I want to go to a program with a culture of winning, and OU does." So this already shows he can tell the change in Oklahoma, tell this is going to be a big time program. And Nick, they are masters of finding great offensive line talent in all depths of the football world. Bill Bedenbaugh has recruited a ton of guys. He's gotten Anton Harrison, first round pick for the Jaguars, Creed Humphrey, starting center for the Chiefs, two really high prospects, but two guys who, to your point, were 3 stars coming out of high school and have made it to the highest level of football this guy's recruited. Orlando Brown Jr., Cody Ford, and Ben Powers, all current starters in the NFL today. So I think this guy, Bill Bedenbaugh, really knows what he's doing when he's evaluating the offensive lineman position because he's picked out a lot of really good players. I am excited for this guy to start, and I think this could be a hidden gem of a pickup for Oklahoma.
I agree with you 100%, but I want to kind of circle back in terms of what this could be long term. And anyone who's familiar with any kind of business and expanding into new market sectors, anytime you're told, if you're like, hey, if you want to learn more about an industry, invest in that industry, buy a company in that industry, buy stock in that industry, because that'll force you to learn about it. Oklahoma is following that same kind of trend here. It's really smart. They want to learn more about the international game, learn more about the talent, the competition, the players in terms of the guys working with the recruits. I don't want to say the agents. That's not the right word. The handlers, the coaches, all that kind of environment, because it obviously is completely different than the high school game in the United States. What's the best way to learn about it and get smart about it is to actively recruit these guys and go through the entire process. That's what we're seeing here. And I really like the fact that Oklahoma is being aggressive about it, because again, I think this is a huge market for upcoming big time college football talent that is just getting tapped. And I think based on moves like this, the Sooners will be big time in a big time position to take advantage of it.